Spoilers ahead as the episode ends with the Bad Batch leaving Crosshair on an exposed Kamino platform where presumably without any shelter, water or food, he will very quickly perish of exposure. Hello, this is SquishiVision where I give my immediate thoughts, in this case to the Bad Batch, having just watched it, so this isn't going to be any in-depth analysis. I've not planned anything, I've not made notes. I'm going to rattle off thoughts in my head, such as what I just had. Where literally, they didn't give him anything, and there's no guarantee the Empire was going to come back anytime soon. Presumably, I mean, they might do. They might. But that seems to be like a educated guess at best. I just expect him to survive. I mean, exposure kills you. So how did? Gosh, this episode, and I guess I have to wrap up the series as well. And well, let's start with the series because I think that's a better way to answer that I can, give. It was very mixed and more okay than good episodes, really. I mean, I don't think anyone were necessarily bad, but really the only good episodes are the ones that seem to have purpose and enjoyment and actual depth to them were the ones where it was Bad Batch versus Crosshair, which was, and I started off a series being like, this was a bold move to make Crosshair an antagonistic force at the very least. I wasn't expecting it, and I was actually impressed, and all my doubts kind of disappeared, and then obviously they came back very quickly with the following episodes. But like putting the Bad Batch against Crosshair was a fantastic move, and so every time they actually did something with that, it was a good episode. Like in this, and like in the last episode, and to a degree, this episode, although kind of less so. Less things kind of happened here. Really, it was more of an epilogue to the previous episode. This was like the third act. So 2 acts in the previous episode as the finale goes. It ends very openly. There's nothing really that's. In fact, I mean, things have changed, but it's not clear what's changed because we don't know. I suppose Crosshair has been given kind of more to chew, and the dynamic has changed between between him and Bad Batch, and he's probably given doubts, although he rejects them explicitly. But other than that, nothing entirely has. There's not. I think it is the thing. The character development is either non-existent or it's spelled out for us, but then disappears by the next episode. So I don't know what the Bad Batch feels towards Crosshair. I don't know if it's necessarily changed because it wasn't really clear what they were thinking. He was barely brought up when he wasn't actually in the episode. So I don't. There was like one part where they're like, "Oh, that used to be Crosshair's bunk," or "That used to be Crosshair's stuff." But apart from that, they barely mention or even react terribly to the fact that they've left one of their own. They don't really seem to. Nothing like the consequences seem very insubstantial. So I don't know. I mean, for considering the most interesting parts were when Crosshair and Bad Batch met each other. I think more of that was on Crosshair's side, who was given much more fleshed out personality with any of the characters. Next being Hunter and Omega, and then the rest is kind of all meld into their stereotypes. In fact, actually, I don't know how really. I think it's basically Rekka and then Echo Tech, with Echo and Tech not necessarily really being that distinct. I think functionally they kind of interchange them quite a bit. So for sure that's concentrating on a set number of protagonists rather than the Clone Wars, which is an anthology. They do a poor job, I think, of establishing motivation and character. Like for sure, it seems to be darker than the Clone Wars in tone. It actually seems to be aimed at a much more junior audience than the Clone Wars in terms of depth and complexity of story. So, yeah, and in this episode, there's some generally. Sorry, I'm just doing weird to my thumb, and I keep forgetting because I keep doing normal things with my thumb and it hurts. There's some generally good parts. I mean, the parts underwater in the tunnel did seem, I guess, scary, although I knew no one was really gonna die, so the stakes were kind of non-existent. My favorite part was when AZ sacrificed himself. and there's some genuinely brilliant shots, and there's some general kind of depth. And then Hunter rescue Daisy, and I don't think it necessarily undermines Sacrifice. And I think, because him, saving AZ is a character moment, it kind of pays off, but pays off, so it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind. I think that was probably my favorite part. Other than that, it's a very simple story. It was, they're trapped. They get out of one problem. They then come to another problem. They get out of that problem. A lot of plot and a lot of narrative was happening. Not much depth, and there was some depth, but I don't know. I feel like you could change the balance there a bit. So yeah, with the series 2, what I will go forward is kind of, I think, more character. I think we concentrate on more of the character development. I think we need to have less of the padding. I think we need more of the lore. I think the good parts where we explore the kind of change between the Republic and the Empire. And I think this is a brilliant chance to explore that we haven't really made the most of. We've touched upon, but not done more than allude to. And I think Crosshair needs to be a bigger part of it. I think we need to see how their relationship develops, or how they interact with each other. We need to see some growth, because there isn't really been any growth, and so because there's no growth, there's no investment. Those are thoughts. Let me know what you think. Gonna end it short and sweet. Note, probably gonna try see if I'm awake enough to play a bit of Horizon Zero Dawn on my gaming channel. Once I've finished eating and showered, because I napped for like a couple of hours beforehand, but knowing me, I'll probably finish eating, have a nap, and fall asleep. So hey ho, thanks for watching, and I think I'm hopefully going to see you on Sunday for my What If reaction. I was meant to watch it on Wednesday, and my best friend set me up, which I feel confident saying here live on YouTube, because I almost certainly don't watch my Star Wars reactions, in fact, any of my videos anymore. If they do, oops, I guess, awkward. But yeah, so we're going to watch that on Sunday instead, and then after that, on Wednesday, I'm like, oh yeah, one less thing. I mean, not that I don't enjoy doing these, but it is, extra work. I'm like, oh yeah, one less thing for me to do, and then I think Lower Decks is probably coming back soonish, and I might be doing something like that. Oh well. Anyway, thanks, and I will see you Sunday.